The Admiral, not in a quite of a distance. He's actually having those loots. He has got an SKS, but in front of him, Yasna area is actually congested with a drop clash with the team RGB out there. RGB Tube Killer will be coming in the direction. We get to say that team number 10 is not that far behind. Team number 10 will be coming. Team Owl Freak will be just trying to get some dominating shots as well. But meanwhile, I guess team. So there are two, actually there were three teams taking the drop, and one of them, that OPA, will be coming in this fighting area. The Zenser as well as Fragger has been picked up and completed out by the team, and 2 finish points have been registered by team number I guess it's gonna be team number 18 coming up. Yep, it is. RGB have already secured 2 finish points in their favor, and with that they're gonna move forward to the match right away. And we have got just seeing that they have got AKM single-handed guns, but the main fights are still to be awaited right now. Pochinki will be in the favor of team number 17. That is going to be hardcore, or we might just say they're having a different tag. So well, it's quite tough, but we get to see team RGB coming in the fighting areas. 2 finish points have been registered. 20 teams is 77 alive, and the main thing is that M4 and an AKM combination. You can get to see that they have got that god building side of the Yasna areas, and probably team RDY going in the school of parts. They might have those important loots if they are having, like, school of parts was not at all renowned because the players won't be getting sufficient loot. But nowadays we can actually get to witness that there are enough loot for a single squad or double squad to loot up, and they can just move forward with whatever they have got. But meanwhile, we get to see that the third eye has not got any gears for himself. That is not going to be like helmet or vest, but now he has got 11-1 helmet indeed. Moving forward, team OPA will be taking their rotation from that upper 70 side, but team PHX coming in the military areas. 4 IQ will be right in front of them. I guess it's complete 4v4 fight, though some, I guess, in the kill feed we have witnessed there are some kind of knockouts and some pickups are going between team 4 IQ and team 14, that is going to be PHX. But I guess they have got those revivals indeed, and they can just move forward to the fights. They've got the C building areas completely in the favor. 4 IIQ, LB, Psycho, Lost Boy, and XR. These three, the 4 of the players, their Rampage has got a complete off angle. If he has got that upper hold, he can just make some kind of quite difference in the point mark. He can go for some big openings from an off angle. If a Rampage position is not at all exposed, while I don't think his position is quite exposed, or else he wouldn't have sit there so quietly. But I guess Avi has got some kind of visuals on them. He's getting a UMP, he's trying to spot out the Rampage position. Well, some shots might just give some kind of awareness towards himself, but the main clusters, and we get to see another drop fight. We can get to witness team BI coming into action, getting team number 5 in these areas. That is Pro V4 versus team BI. It's gonna be the complete Primosk area, and probably they've got the higher risk. Team number 7, team BI, have got the higher risk advantage, while team number 5, we move on to them, that is Pro V4. This team, well, they have got somewhat of, well, they don't have any kind of advantage indeed. If you get to say team number 7 has got the higher risk advantage, they also have the zone favorish side. So team number 5, that is Pro V4, they have to come up in the open, or they have to go up with the vehicles out there for the splits to get the rotation inside the zone, or to get something out there. But I guess team number 5 is aware, team number 7 is aware, team BI, I guess they're aware of that, the positions that team number 5 are actually holding that place. Meanwhile, PIXS Slayer OP having that Scarrel in his hand, he can just make those difference. Kala's position, I guess it will be exposed, but if he comes in the open, well, it's gonna be really tough. But the main thing is the trigger control. If you can just do that trigger control properly, you might just get those main things in your favor. Pro V4 coming. PHX Rampages have been finished up, and Rampage, the main trump card for team PHX, we can just say that he has been eliminated, he has been finished off from this match, and that will mark a quite setback for team PHX out there. Meanwhile, team 4 IQ, they have got that opening what they were actually looking forward. Rampage was a trump card for team PHX, and as soon as he is getting down, the main position, the main attacking scenarios might just engage with 4IQ, and that's what we are getting to see. They're just trying to get closer and closer, and might just need can bring one or two openings. The need has been penned up, and one proper need can just bring up some beautiful openings indeed. Meanwhile, team 4IQ on an advanced position, they're just looking forward to take a rush in that area. Team number 14 will be have to be quite of a patient, holding the staircase, having that S12K, will be going for some shots out there, and I guess they will be going from interior areas. PHX Killer exactly waiting in the stairs. Well, when you have got 3 to 4 players, you are not you cannot do anything as such like that. A killer will be just going, might be just going with a Molotov. He might just get those hits, but no, he just survives at any cost. Another hits, another Molotovs. The utilities are being used up really well. Team 12 4IQ have been like, they're just surrounding team number 14 from all the sides as possible in the building areas. Let me just check out, some messages just arrived. Well, I guess it's all fine and good. So meanwhile, we get to say that Zinga Fish will be coming into the action. 4IQ XR will be there. Meanwhile, team 4IQ have already got that entry in the C building where team number 14 is actually holding up, and Psycho have got some kind of differentiator situations. Killer and Ninja will be on the other side holding up those positions. Killer will be in the stairs. Meanwhile, the position has been exposed. Some damages have been dealt. Killer will be getting in a very low HP. Salt Ninja, he's also trying with an M416 out there. He might just go out with some kind of openings as well, but the main opening which is to be done is just getting that Zinga Fish will be the trump card, coming with an M2 phone and hiding in those small container areas in the back of those wooden containers. He will be going from that off angle. He just came up, he just popped up, and he got those 1 or 2 finishes, I guess. Yep, he's got 2 finishes, and now I guess 4IQ will be in a really bad setback as Irby needs to heal himself up. He has not got those healings right with him. Lost Boy will be in the backwards, and they, like 4IQ, have to retreat in this position while they don't have any kind of option, because they have just lost their 2 of the teammates. Like, they were actually crucial, you know. Psycho and Exa, they were the those who gave that aggressive approach towards team PHX. And the main thing is that in this kind of apartments, you never know that which player at which team is camping or just hiding or seeking behind the boxes or any kind of room. So you have to be quite unaware of that positioning, and basically you have to sorry for that. Basically you have to keep in that mind where the position actually struck out. Team number 14 meanwhile coming into the firing areas, 4IQ will be just holding the backs. They have to be patient while they have got the zone favor, so they won't be having any kind of trouble indeed. But team RGB will be giving their rotation above the Yasna areas, probably going from that northern side. They can give the rotation from that Rozok bridges, or you might just say that Georgia bridges, but they're going for the 70. Well, I don't know what where they are actually thinking right now. Team 11 giving some another rotation. They were seeking out for vehicles, but I guess team RGB might face off team number 11 in this rotational clash. You may just say that team 11, they have got this complete 70 loot. They have got decent loot, because 70 is quite a place you might just get good amount of loot out there. But now they have got that rotation, they have got those vehicles, and they have to move forward with those loot ups. And I guess they might just face up team RGB out there. But RGB, they have got like came out in lot far away from the drop. Their drop was exactly in the Yasna Poliana area. Now they came up in the 70 or the shooting range to give the rotation, or you might just say they're keeping up some loots or some kind of vehicle trace, like in search of a vehicle or loot. I don't know, but I guess this rotation might just give them a certain lot of time to get inside the zone properly and to utilize it in a proper way. Meanwhile, we move on to team HS. Well, team number 8 will be coming in this central areas, from the central part of the pancake areas, and we might just say that they are holding up the ridges in the sugar hill, and they're actually holding the complete main compound of the pancake drop. And team Wiz have already taken that proper drop. They have gone from the Lipovka to direct in the central areas. Like, they have got the fast loots up. They have got a really impressive fast lootings, and because of that they have given the perfect rotation in the perfect time, and they've got the brilliant compound. Well, you might just say the first zone comes in a very centralized way, the second zone nearer comes in a centralized shift. It might just not go with that hard shift, but after the second zone you can just predict out the zone like the you can just predict out where to where you can move and which position will be crucial for you to hold up. But the main thing, the first zone, central capitalization might just give you that much advantage so that the zone doesn't come up with a hardship from very far away from you. Meanwhile, team number 6, that is going to be team TES, or we might just say HRX. Team HRX will be giving their rotation from the coastal shorelines. Like in the meanwhile, we were actually talking about this fight. Team number 17 BI were actually waiting for team number 5 to come upstairs, and they were actually coming up in the open. They have got one down. That is going to be Rockstar. Rockstar has been picked up. Some smokes have to be getting created. Kills finishes won't be just getting tolerated. Some kind of shots needs to be done, and they're actually going in open. Zeno and Rockstar, both of them came in the open and they got knocked up. But the play zone gets Slayer down, and the last player surviving from team BI, well, I guess he needs to take a fallback because it's not a great position for team BI to just get eliminated. And to be honest, Team BI cannot make a comeback in this fighting areas until and unless they have got some covers out there. But Team BI, Sumit, has he gone that much areas just to make a fallback or something? I guess doesn't, and the revivals will be very much needed in a top priority. Meanwhile, the seat change has been done brilliantly. Presence of mind coming up from Team BI. Sumit, please, and he actually played a brilliant role, because if you just jump out of the vehicle, you get in the left hand side, then you might just have those chances of getting eliminated and knocked out at the first priority. First stage have been dropped, and those revivals, I don't think it's gonna be that much possible, but there you go. He's getting completed. Smokes has to be created. It's now down to 2v2 fight coming up. Team number 5 and team number 7. Indeed, the two of the players have been finished off. Two finishes have been registered in the name of Team Pro V4 and 2 finishes in the favor of Team BI. Well, after that, they have to go with the centralized chef to getting the favor of team number 17. Looking forward to that. And they have got the poaching kill. Well, you might just say there are some kind of clusters coming in that direction. That is going to be none other than team number 22. Not that far away. Well, not really that far away. Team Viz also going for the central part. They're going to the central rotation, center the movement. Well, it's quite really nice and coming up in this fighting areas that PHX having completed. I guess they have completed 4 IQ. No, they're not. 4 IQ still surviving, making that fallback from the military base. A very clever decision. Meanwhile, 20 teams, 70 players still remaining in the zone, and the fights are yet to be done. Main thing is that Team Wiz will be coming into the action areas. Team number 6 exactly in the down the ridge area. Team HRH might just get those openings, while Team number 10 is in a really tough situation. But coming into the fighting areas, Rawan Whitey will be getting the smokes up and giving those revivals. 2 of his teammates are down, but the main thing is that this poaching area is becoming a really blunder for team number 10, because they're actually trapped from all the sides. They're getting the shots. Sagar has been down, and other players have got those revivals. Will be needing of some really fast exit, because I don't think Team Reflex will be just letting them pass away from that position, and they are going to punish them while just staying in the open areas. Team Reflex has got every possible advantage. They don't have any kind of backstabs right now, while Team PHX might just come into the action and create some more stuffs out there. But meanwhile, team number 2 having lost one of their teammates, that's gonna be Noddy. They're gonna be in 3-man. Team number 10 just coming below them, and team number 17 just waiting for that really right and perfect moment to just slam it out in that area. Meanwhile, team GTX, I guess GTX just surviving below team number 22. It's not a really decent position, but the smokes are actually letting him survive. And to be honest, you've got a plenty positions, but you have to also keep in mind there are 68 players still in the lobby, and the fight between team RDY and I guess RGB is on right now. Yes, it is RGB. Dude, Madrox happens down there and will be confirming himself, and the finish point has been registered in the name of team RGB, while the cover from team RDY are coming, but it's not that much effective to the main motive shots which are actually coming in the direction of team RD1. But team RGB basically, they have got 2-2 splits in the 2 in the compounds, 2 in the bunkers. Well, a really good split. A 2-2 split fight actually stays in a really proper way. You have got the both of the supports. You can go for the aggressive push, you can go for the passive push as well. But meanwhile, moving forward to the fight, we get to see TR Negi OP coming in the fighting areas, and team number 21, they are actually holding a proper combat, but it's quite a small. You won't be able to sustain a proper full squad inside these areas, but the main thing is that the team 11, that is team sword, will be in those barn houses. Probably they're damaging the vehicles, or you might just say they are going forward to some another direction. Yash, well, Yash is there. Meanwhile, Shinchan is in a far distant area. Bhaskar will be just doing some kind of SKS shots, and with that, I guess Archie will be coming with some DP6X shots, dealing some kind of damages. I guess if he might just get some openings, they can go for the upper push. But Team GT coming into action with, I guess, it's gonna be Team PHX versus Team GT. Not that far away. They've got into the compounds, and Team PHX will be just waiting over those hills, residing over those compound areas, and probably they might just get those openings because the height advantage goes in the favor of Team PHX until and unless they do for a slam and go for the tough close range fights. It's all they can do. Just give those damages, take as many knocks as possible, and give a slam to hold up the compound, or else they don't have any stand to chance right now. Team number 17 coming to action. 4 finishes, they have not got any kind of they have not got any kind of finishes right now, but 4 men are standing from them. So team number 22, they are 1 man down, and another that is gonna to be, I guess it's Wiz Velmoth is completely picked up. He will be needing a revival. 3-man standing. Team Wiz, they have to come in a setback, while the zone has got a really hard shift in the Gatka area, and probably the cannons and those small compounds will be the greater priorities for the teams those are giving that early rotation. Probably nobody understood, and this is the thing I was actually talking about. When you have got the central part holded itself before the next zone comes up, you can have that advantage of giving a rotation of your choice, because you can have those all empty up, and I guess team number 21 is gonna go for those tunnel big parts. Meanwhile, Team Wiz, Big Bull comes in the action areas, and Team Daisy has these 3 finish points have been registered. So Team Daisy and Team 17 basically comes up with a direct push, and I guess they have wiped out one of the teams. Let's just see which teams have got eliminated so far. We can get to see that Wiz is the only complete squad who got eliminated, and 20 teams the contest is between, but for now there are only 19 teams remaining, while they are in 1 man or 2 man, but they're still in a playing like a team right now. And Team GT coming in the action areas, they might just face off some haze around these farm areas and might just get and deal a good amount of damage. The shots are actually coming in this direction, and you actually cannot help yourself out while you are in these trapped hay areas, and the single taps are actually coming, and I don't think they're gonna go for those bad scenarios, and probably they're gonna be 1 down. Indeed, what I was thinking, the vehicle has been smoked up right now, they can be exploded at any moment possible. Team number 10 and 2 to spread, giving those rotation. Coming out with Team BI, Slayer OP, the last man surviving, last will be Slayer and I guess Sumit. Those 2 players will be surviving from Team BI, while Team number 5, that is PV4, they have also given a quite right inside rotation. The compounds will be quite empty for themselves to hold as well. But meanwhile, moving on to Team OPA, 2 man already down, that is gonna be Zenser and Fragger, 2 of the most I guess I've not casted them before, but surely the 2 have got those aggressive approaches towards them, so it might be just they have better players than their teammates. But let's see what Team OPA can just do out in this position, and can they win, take up that brilliant positioning, or might just take off for they might just go for those finish points. Meanwhile, 19 teams remaining, 60 players alive so far, and that Warkish, who is actually dealing a good amount of damage, but the 4-man standing is actually helping them, giving those rotation in complete manner, having those ruins side, giving and entering from the northern side. It's a really clever decision, because you might just say that the northern teams are from mainly the zone is coming in consisting of the Water City area and probably the school area, so they might not be there as much as cluster we can actually expect. But moving on to Team RGB, they have got small clusters, and small clusters, more and more to come, while Team 4IQ giving that rotation. TE Sneaky Sir and 4AB John Thay Jr. Okay, I guess it's gonna be Jonathan, but John Thay Jr. Never mind. So meanwhile, we get to say that the fights are still on. Team numbers 8 is gonna be that Team LSE, or you might just say Team HS, or Exo or MG, they are having 4 different tags. So team number 8 is quite, it's quite easy to spell out. So team number 8 will be just going up for those fighting areas. The zone arc is it's completely going in the guard areas. We are all aware of that, but the main thing is that the complete pushes are coming. The shots are actually happening right now. Team GT gives up a push. GTX will be coming on an aggressive approach with the AKM and the DP combination. Need has been pinned up, and this need might just bring up some of the openings which is actually needed. And actually need comes in there's interior parts, but didn't deal any kind of such damage. So needs all going up and up, and the deflected needs are not actually happening. Meanwhile, Sagar has been picked up by a long range, I guess, so he's been spotted from a very long distance, and the shots are being taken. The revival has to be created in a very top priority. Meanwhile, coming GT, Sagar is quite safe, and the main fight and the main shift comes in the main central Canal George, the Gatka area. And actually, to be honest, the Gatka and the main canals is actually really it's quite an interesting part of the map, that you can hide and you can play under the tunnel. And well, you just get to see that the team BTM Mental OP coming in this action. One teammate has been lost, Mortal Brock and Mental Brock and Rambo OP. Okay, Mental Drop and Rambo OP, 3 of the players are just waiting and okay. Well, BTN, we get to see the 5 team number 16 actually coming into the action. Team GTX have already been picked up, and the last man probably surviving, that is going to be team NXDRS. So team number 17 might be just going. It's better you just stay down, because if you're giving shots, you're exposing your position. Nobody is going to get away without having any kind of single finish. They might just suspect there is complete squad, and you're like so much overconfident just to get those shots and expose your position. Well, we get to say that he is TRS is actually having a single buggy. I don't think it's gonna be that much helpful for themselves, but team number 8 in those action areas having 1 finish point for themselves. Team number 4 are not in quite a good mood, team number 4, that is team Reflex. Meanwhile, the fights are being registered. HRX Babu has been picked up. Team SWAT are actually defending the push against team team number 6 basically. It's Hex, I guess, or HAX or something. Okay, so it's not like that. Team number 6, I guess they have been eliminated from now, or you might just say team number 5 Pro V4 are actually in another part, to be honest. And with that, I guess team number 8 has already wiped out team number 11 probably, or they might just go for those some kind of long range sprays. 5 finishes have been registered by team SWORD for now, and the main fights are yet to come. The Gatka split, which is going to be quite interesting. Moving on to the fight, that is TR Negi OP. Getting one down, RGB Killer gets up some kind of opening. Meanwhile, Team 21 has to come up with an aggressive approach, and they actually comes up and wipes out Team RGB out of this game. Negi stays behind as a cover, and the zone comes in the favor of Team Reflex as well as Team Sword. They might be having complete open areas, and they might be just the single 2 squads having the whole of the main 2 compounds in the circle, while the other teams in the other compounds are not yet that much. And the other parts, we get to say that Team Pro V4 has already taken some kind of rotations towards themselves. TMOWL Psycho, he's just being staged out by team number 3, is one of the players, and it's gotta be none other than War Benki OP. All of his teammates are dead, and the last finishes point will be registered by himself, and 3 finish points. The 1v3 comes up for Team War out there, and Becky actually surviving from his team so far. 15 teams remaining, 41 players are still alive. The fights are to be done. BIXS Slayer OP will be getting some of the players down at all, but meanwhile we get to say that the revivals has to be done. Sumit Please is the one, and the medic, to be honest, he's just giving revivals to all of possible teammates and corporates he's actually having. But meanwhile, Team BTD, they are also down to like 4 man, but they have got 1 knockdown, so they can easily revive that one, and with that they gonna move forward to the main stage. As well as we move on to BTD Yatan in a very low HP, will be needing some healings out there. Coming in the back, that is gonna be BTM Mentalic, well, Mental OP, it's not metallic, it's mental OP. Well, so, and that way we got to say that Team Reflex coming with an aggressive approach. Sile has been picked up. Fresh has been a very low HP. AKM and M4 complete combination. One down is there. And meanwhile, team number 14 are not gonna back off with that much. Yash has been picked up and confirmed. So that's gonna be really tough coming up in this map, and what just happens right now. Meanwhile, team TR Negi comes up with an aggressive approach. Team number 19 take on team 21. TR Negi comes up. 7 finishes have been registered. 13 teams remaining. 35 players still in the lobby. TR Cyborg gets one down there, and the some shots off with that Mini 14, you might just say, are actually Mini 14 or SLR. What it is? Okay, it's not none of those above. It's gonna be that M16. Well, like we get to say that the telco influencer is trying to give everything possible, and team number 10, that is IYD XTT, they have to go. It's not like it's team TR basically. So team TR comes up with the 7 finishes. 11 teams or 30 teams, 30 players are still remaining. Curse has been picked up. Negi as well as Curse have been coming. Cyborg and Neutrino got some shots from the other end of team number 11, and that will mark some kind of opening from team 20. They might just go out with the reunite with his teammates. Revival has to be done while team 20 are not in such a good place so far. Meanwhile, moving forward to team number 11, that is going to be one of the best teams right now, just surviving with the 6 finishes. They're though 3-man, but they have got 6 finishes so far, and they might just go for the 7th finish as well. Team number 3 coming, War Benki OP. If he gets spotted, he is going to be the finish for team, I guess it's okay, so there you get to see that PHX are still surviving in spite of having such a bad start, but they're still down to 2-man. They have got 2 finish points, and they're holding and holding. Okay, so PHX killer comes into action. PYT Vyatan OP just gets some of the knocks. A Reflex will be there. Bisht OP has been picked up. Sahil Jod Frankie as well as a Reflex Vicky. 3 of the players are still remaining. Team number 8 comes up with a direct slam as well as moving on to team LSC. Rob out there, just trying to get some openings from team number 4 out there, but the Molotov gets hipped up by Rob, and Rob needs to heal himself up with the bandages or as well as some kind of first aid. So the revival touch is actually very much necessary for now. Vikey will be just waiting and waiting. He's got the brilliant 65 mag loaded machine gun, so it's gonna be really tough for him to beat out in this one as well as wait. They've got those closings. They have to get inside of the zone. The fights are still on. Team number 15 gets that gets that rotation which will actually needed. Team number 11 just saves, and Admiral gets down as well. Admiral is very low HP. He needs to get inside of the zone. He gets inside of the zone, but he gets some kind of retaliated shots as well. 4AB Jonathan Jr. gets down. 4AB as well as we get to say that team ELSE Rob has been confirmed and picked up. Reflex Best has been, he has also been confirmed and picked up. In the meantime, the zone has come in the favor of team number 14 as well as team TR. The zone is getting the shift, and in the meantime, in the last moment, BI Sumit plays the last player surviving from team BI right now. 6 finishes have been registered. 3 of them has been done by Sumit plays out there. He has got a brilliant gunfight as well. So we might just get to see. So meanwhile, we get to say that BTD Yatan will be on the fighting areas. Team 15 is just waiting, and the other hands we get to say team 20 in a very bad scenarios. DES and DE Sneaky Sir, basically team DE basically just waiting, and they are now 2-man down now right now. Sneaky will be in a very low HP. Crosshair will be just getting all those knocks out there. Meanwhile, team TR coming into action. Team Reflex have been spotted. Cyborg gets that retaliated nade. Neutrino will be the last man probably surviving from team 21. Some smokes have been created just to give those revivals to Cyborg, because those revivals are really crucial for everyone right now. Team number 4 meanwhile, they have to charge in. The Molotovs comes in the right pocket, might just get all those knockouts there. Cyborg will be dealing some kind of damages, but meanwhile team number 4 comes up and some kind of heavy fall damages has been dealing. Best just gets knocked out by his own teammates. Well, that's quite a poor scenario turning up, but 6 teams, 12 players are still remaining, while team BTD in the back ends, the team D are also coming in the tunnel areas. The zone is giving doing a shift and shift. The one those who surviving the kennel fight will be in a top priority basis. Actually, they will be getting all those angles from down the ridge as well. But meanwhile, we get to say that Team DE Sneaky Sir, he's just trying and trying and trying to get inside of the zone right now. But meanwhile, Team DE takes an exit. Reflex just stays there. 11 finishes, 4-man still surviving, 4 teams, 8 players still alive. Or we might just get to say that in average we can get that there is 4 teams and 2 players of each team are actually surviving, which is actually not. That is Team Reflex will be 4-man standing, and other 2 Admiral and Yatin will be in the same tag of BTD and HVK Killer and so these are the teams basically surviving. There's not gonna be like 4 teams, 8 players still alive. The fights are still on, and we get to say that Flexi Vicky will be coming in the open areas, just trying to get spotted out as well, and he just want to get all those top kills actually happening. But the shack areas is there completely damaged. Frankie has been knocked and no cover has been given by any of his teammates, and he could have survived if any cover had indeed came up with the Molotov with the So we might just get that Reflex is actually waiting for the right moment. The zone shift comes up, 2 players remaining, he gets that one down, and there you go, the last and probably the 3 teams are remaining. That is going to be Team BI, and looking forward to this one. Team BI have already registered 7 finishes, so with that we get to say that Team Reflex Viking has been picked up. Sahil Jod will be doing those heal battles. 6 first aids have been registered, and with that Sahil Jod, I guess I don't think he will be able to take up those fights as well right now. Another knock has been registered. Sumit is not stopping. 12 finishes have been registered by Team Reflex, but Sumit has got all 5 of his finishes in his favor while having 8 total finishes for his team. And BIX's Sumit, what a game he's having right now. One single nade can just bring up every possible damage from their end right now. 1 tree has been damaged and there is only 1. So meanwhile, another one gets spotted. Admiral's position has been compromised by Sumit right now. He can just go for the crowd shots and he might just get those knockouts easily. But the main thing is that you have to spot him first right now, and with that Okay, so meanwhile BIX Sumit just stays where it is, and Sumit actually gets 1/6 of his finish point. 3 of the players remaining. It's gonna be a 1v1v1. Reflex Sahil, BTD Admiral, and BIX's Sumit plays. 3 of the players still surviving. Well, it's not that much easy turning up for themselves. Sumit plays just stays out and out. It's gonna be a 1v1v1. Well, who's gonna take the winner chicken? It's gonna be really interesting fact. Looking forward to Sahil, is not in a complete full HP, while the other 2 players are actually in. Admiral, and he's not even damaged a single dot HP. Healed himself up completely with the boosters and etc. Well, it's taking a long time. Nobody's giving any kind of movement. If you get to say it's the 8th zone, the another one will be gonna be dead zone. They have acquired the top 3 positions, and nobody's aware of that there is a 1v1v1 position indeed. But the main thing is that so there you go, the 1 man gets spotted, and with that the Team BIX Sumit plays gets another 7 finish point in his favor. And what a game he's actually having now. Is down to 1v1 situation coming up. Sumit versus Sahil. Who is gonna win? Who is going to take the first match? Winner chicken dinner. That's gonna be depending upon this last and the final fight. And might just getting spotted. Some kind of random shots are actually coming that direction. Meanwhile, we get to say that Sahil will be just spotting himself up. Some kind of pre-fire, 43 bullets, and 30 bullets remaining. He can't afford any kind of pre-fires, and he's just switching up the band. Okay, so we are back into this match right away, and we get to see the fights have already been taken place. Lost Neonlies look quite of a congestion while we get to say that TM All Eric coming into the action might just got some of those downs as well, and the fights are still going on and on. And Team GT, without having any kind of clusters luck over area, will be still in these hands of Team PHX as well as Team number 17. Well, they are not having the same tags at all. Well, it's quite difficult for us to even handle, but I guess the glitch is still on. Well, I really don't know what's happening. Well, I guess this is some kind of glitches I have to cast with the map, but there you get to see that Team Sword actually taking the rotation towards team number 6. That is going to be Team HRX coming Gorkha out there, and with that we get Team HRX having a really spread out there. They might just get to them spotted out, as well as Gorkha will be just waiting patiently while Team Sword is coming into action. Gorkha gets Sword Blast. One of the SWAT Bhaskar, I guess he has got one knockout from that position. As well as looking forward to the other fights, we get Team SWAT are actually in the back ends. They've got the Mirado exploded, and probably there are 2 people surviving, and Team SWAT is gonna be in a 3-man standing. Bhaskar has been picked up, and probably he will be confirmed finished off easily. HRX Ravan and TS Damn Boy. Well, these 2 players are in a quiet distance, but they can actually manage to come up as a backup and to create some kind of backup positions for themselves as well. And the fights are like we get to say that HRX Gorkha is waiting, and they have got some bridges covers as well. And actually we can't see what is happening in that fighting areas. Okay, so swords are actually getting splitted up, but they are getting knock and knock, but another retaliation knock has already came up from Team HRX coming. That is Beast have been picked up by one of the players of Team Sword out there. But the main engagements which is actually going on with HRX and Sword, well, it's quite in a distance, and it's actually happening ridge to ridge, while we get Team 7 also taking some third party advantages from themselves as well. So the fights, Beast is still knocked out and will be needing a revival, but I don't think TNT Blackie 2OP will be just going on with the flow, and he will be confirming that kill of Team HRX. Beast OP out there. BIX Zeno comes up with Pro V4. While this, I guess these 2 teams have got some kind of relation, like they are actually engaging, sharing almost the same drop. Gets one knockout there, Team 7 and Team 5. They are again playing in a 2-2 split, while Swords Ashish gets knocked out by plays. Daisy Razor gets Yash FPW down there, and some kind of shots, I guess it's coming from Gorkha from those areas as well. And the fights might just go on for that HRX Ravan going with the split. Damn Boy will be getting hardcore Goku. That team with 17 are actually came up here for the third parties, but they are now actually getting beaten up after Team Sword takes an exit, I guess. But no, I guess Team Sword is still alive in that area. Okay, meanwhile TES Damn Boy coming in the down the range areas will be going for those kill confirmation. Blackie is just waiting, and Damn Boy have to be in quite a patient moment. He's going for the charging right now, but the nade actually, can it go for the pinpoint? Well, if it does, it's gonna be a boomer for team number 6 out there, but it did not went in that well. Molotovs and everything is going every possible way. Damn Boy is making those charged in position. Complete Molotovs, complete utilities utilization is being done right now. But the main thing, the Molotovs is actually not going in the proper place. TS Damber just patiently waiting, but that is the thing I was actually talking about. Some kind of casualties. TNT Blackie 2OP has got 4 finishes in his favor, but the main thing is that HRX are actually coming from the upper ridges areas. They might just go for this right hand side and central push in that area, and the main teams are actually coming charging Ravan as well as Gorkha from both of the sides. Blackie 2OP will be quite disturbed, and the need actually came up. It might just not give him that much damage, but this one Molotov, is it going in the right place? While I don't think so, it actually went in another direction, but Gorkha definitely gets a really good head up. Some kind of danger. Patiently waiting is he's the one who just let it be like that. But Sword Shinchan makes a really good fallback. He's not willing to take any kind of engagement so far, but other fights are still going on. Team BI with the 3-man, and the other fights, well, 19 teams, 58 players still alive, and not any kind of such engagements. They are actually disengaging the fights as main priorities, but meanwhile Gorkha came up with some kind of knocks. Is it possible for Ravan to hold up these fights? I don't think so. They have got that upper advantage. Gorkha and Ravan both are in the down the ridge areas. They won't be having any kind of advantage, but meanwhile the main fights. Blackie comes up with the 4 finishes so far. He can be the trump card, but the zone is actually giving some easy damage right there. Gorkha, I guess, has been spotted. 50 HP, surviving Ravan in the front line, but TNT Blackie 2OP just waiting out. The Ranger will be on the right hand side. He can just go for the aggressive approach, and as they have already have done completing the utilities, they have already wasted the utilities right now, and they cannot go for any kind of stuff. In spite of knowing the position, they have to make a manual rush in that ridge. While they had no, well, actually I think it's, if you rush in right now, it's gonna be really easy one, because if you come up in that particular area, they won't be having any kind of advantages. Gorkha and Ravan, they can easily be eliminated because they're in the down the ridge areas. They won't be having, and they won't sustain at that much pressure, you know. But Ravan is on the go. I guess he might just go for the left hand side flank positions and can just take out them in a single spray if he gets that flank completely done. But if he gets spotted, it's gonna be end for team HRX. But meanwhile, he's getting those flanks. He's just still trying to spot out if any player is there left to just do any kind of stuff. But meanwhile Ranger, well, he's just creating some smokes, might be getting spotted. Yes, he gets spotted. Ravan has been spotted. He might just give him some kind of damage. Ranger comes in another off angle, and with that I guess the Ranger will be done by Gorkha. Now Blackie remains the one person remaining, and I guess this was kind of a bait. If you go in the right hand side, you might just get spotted. The revival has to be in the top priorities. Revival is being done, as well as Ravan comes up, and I guess Blackie won't be leaving himself. Ravan comes up, and the Ranger's finish off has been done, and Blackie is going from the right hand side, not going for the one-man situation. Some kind of range disadvantages might just not work out. For instance, the Scarlet Bay will be just sustaining, and with that team 17 takes away that exit, and with that team HRX will be holding on to their grounds and will be continuing the match so far. In the meantime, team War giving that rotation from those Los Leones area, while team DE, team D, they're quite outside of the zone. Same goes for team OPA and RGB. They're way far of the zone. They need to get inside from that position. Reflex Bisht OP. I guess his scoop star has been exploded by some kind of shots, but he's just rushing towards team BI. Well, it's not gonna be that much funny thing, because if he gets spotted, he's not gonna survive at all. Elazar looks quite disciplined, while team BI takes in another rotation. Team PHX Rampage has been knocked out by some of the players coming from the front line. That is none other than team RDY. They haven't got that much standings in the last match. Well, they had reached way far in the match, but I don't think they will be satisfied with those kind of performance. They want to go for the more and more. Meanwhile, team number 14, the players have been spotted. Another shots have been taken. Team number 19, RDY Third Eye is there. Happens will be creating some kind of better position, dealing a good amount of damage. Can it be that first blood or first knockouts which we were actually expecting? 17 teams, 54 players still alive in this match. But the main thing is that you need to spot the players out there, because Scar land a mini 14 combination and direct slam. Well, I don't think it's gonna work out in that way. The whole team has to get that slam in, or just to get those openings to create some kind of chances of getting this fight capitalized in very fast ways. But well, you need to know the changing of angles is very much needed. Well, happens is doing every possible thing happens. Well, 2-2 split coming out from team number 14. Two players in one direction, two players in another. Mirado is getting exploded. Well, to be honest, if you get to see that damaging vehicles won't give you any kind of stuff, so if like any kind of advantage, if it's better if you let that be done, because if you're exploding vehicles, the players will surely get to know that yeah, our Mirado is exploded, we have got to take that front line. They will be going directly to that. In spite of that, you're also wasting bullets on destroying the complete vehicle. It's better you just wipe it off the back tires of the vehicle. That's all. The vehicle is already dead. In spite if you have not damaged it, it's still, it can't move. So I guess that's a better option rather than just wasting bullets on vehicle rather than persons. But meanwhile, we get to see that Team Reflex coming into the action scenarios. They might just go for those beautiful fights. Okay, well, so we might just say that like a Reflex VTWNL will be just going and having those vehicles out there. He can give the rotation very properly, and we get a 4 IQ into the engagements. Well, this team, they had a really good gunfight. They could have got those openings. They created those main angle fights in that military base area, and the meanwhile but in spite of that, they got the 2 early setbacks, which was not at all acceptable from Team 4IQ. They had to go from the backwards, but they still managed to take a fallback, and they managed to get inside of the zone and survive for a bit long in the match. And I guess they have secured a decent position, probably. But the shots from Team 14 are actually coming. Sword Shinchan, I don't think he's having any kind of vehicles, he's surviving with the healings. Well, it's gonna be tough for himself to just maintain those souths. HRX, Gorkha and Ravan will be giving a buggy rotation coming from the Hacienda areas near the places of the main clusters where the 3 teams are actually fighting in that particular phase. That's gonna be PHX and RDY, and not that much far away, but it's quite a distance if you get to see. Team RGB and OPA, well, a southern rotation, quite a southern rotation. It might just not go up to their expectations, but to be honest, it can basically, if you go with a really safer rotation compared to the other ones, you can get those advantage of not getting into some kind of rotational clash. But the main thing is that you have to deal a lot of damage. But what is Team RGB trying to do? Well, Team RGP, they're not having that much good healings. They're taking those vehicles out there. With that, I guess they don't have fuel in that one, but the zone shift, it will increase the damage, and the hard shift comes up exactly in the Minas General Assam. And to be honest, this much big rotation will cost you a really good amount of damage. You're wasting healings out there. But the main thing is that there's a chance that you might not face some kind of a rotational clash, but you may also. But meanwhile, we get as a team BTM getting some engagements, and mini 14 tabs, projects, mental, warden, the 3 players surviving so far. They've got the better hold. They're inside the zone areas. BI also in the zone areas, while Team OWL, that's going to be Team Owl, well, they're also giving the rotation. They might be just going in front of that compound area, so they might just get into some clashes, or we might just get that 53 players are alive, 17 teams are still remaining, and with that the Team PHX is still surviving. A Team Reflex giving the northern side rotation. It's quite a way, and quite a long way rotation. They might just not face any kind of casualties, or they might just not get any kind of rotational clashes. But the main thing is that the teams, they are just going in, they're just trying to hold up positions, and for now we might just get to see that Warkush going in that buggy, probably just Minas General areas are not quite of ridgy areas, so you might just survive through the ridges also, but getting the very edges. Well, it's quite a good decision to hold up to the edges because you have to just then look out for the back. Nobody's gonna be targeting until unless you're in a very open exposure area you are actually holding up. So the main thing is that team HRX will be having the upper areas in the Hacienda, or you might just say the graveyard areas. The team Sword, Shinch and at last he's getting one of the vehicles, I guess. So with that we move on to Sword Shinch, and at least one time he's just healing himself up. He's got a pickup drop. He can give that rotation in a really proper way without any kind of problematic situation. But the main thing always stays as a main thing. That is gonna be team number 4 into this action area as a Reflex Bish. He's just surviving and starting, and the coup has been with him. He has to make a fallback. No, not a quite good place to set up. But the main thing, that is Reflex Bish. Well, if you get to see that the rotation is being done, 1 finishes have been registered, Sahil Jod has been confirmed out there. Bish might be going for those coup rotations, and the left hand side, well, this is quite a place. If you get to see that 70 teams, you have to just make it like some kind of allotments. Team Owl is there getting into some engagements with team number 16 very soon. He's going for the scouting areas. He's actually inside those such places that he can target the team RGB from outside the zone, while in spite of having so much long rotation, I don't think Team RGB want to take any kind of fallback. With the buggy has been spotted, the bad damage might be just getting down, but there you go, the retaliation knocks comes up. Killer has been picked up easily, while team number 13, that is going to be Team Owl, without any kind of casualty. Eric returns in a safe way position with a 6x cloak. Will be having that AWM, might be going for some kind of pushes. Team number 18 in this direction, RGB, Duke, Addy, Madrox, Scartel, Killer, 4 of the players still remaining, as well as team number 12. He might just get spotted. Eric will be the one just waiting and waiting, and Madrox has been again punished by his crews out there. You peek and I punish you. That's the mean business going in this fight right now. Cartel meanwhile trying to create some better angles, while team number 12 will be in the right hand side area. So like team number 30 and team number 12, they might just engage, but it's really far distance coming into for engagement scenarios. Eric will be just waiting. He's got an M4 with himself, as well as Urban Spirit OP, DE Clown Sir. Urban Spirit OP gets confirmed. PHX Killer will be punished. Zinga Fish also gets, I guess team DE actually wiped out the team PHX out of the game, but probably team Owl is just waiting and waiting. And the zone shift comes in a certain way that Pro V4, Reflex and REY, these 3 teams are actually getting the main advantage scenarios and this fight right away. And meanwhile Team Owl, well, decent loot, quite good vehicles, rotational, no problem. They can actually go over the straight rotation, or you might just say that Team DE have a really safer part in the map right away, and Team BI can also get into some kind of right hand side or left hand side rotation. I don't think it's gonna left hand side rotation gonna work. Better it's going for the right hand. If I was IGL, I really go for the definite right hand side rotation, because it's actually, to be honest, it's actually it's really helpful to hold up these ridges in spite of holding some kind of small ridges. But the fights are still going on, and BTM into some engagements. BTM Vertex OP, still remaining 4 finishes have been registered. Another fights have to come up with team number 4 in the upper area. Team Reflex getting a really long shot on PV4 out there, or you might just say that it's gonna be up Pro V4, this team, well, without like they have already got 2 casualties. That is gonna be like it's Kala and Beast. 2 of the players have been knocked and confirmed. Other players have to come up and take up the fights. We might just go that team RGB are just waiting. Team 22 will be giving rotation in the back sides. We get team number 8 into the action, and to be honest, if you get from the ridges, you have to just focus on the front. Meanwhile, we get to say team OPA still outside of the zone. I don't know how much healings they are actually having, but so much long rotation from team OPA, it might just cause them up. I don't know why are they giving such a huge rotation in this areas, and 2 of the players have been knocked out by the play zone. Probably nobody's gonna take them down unless they are having less healings. Then 2 of the players have been lost by play zone. That's really, to be honest, it's not worth it rotation if you're actually giving so much rotation out of the zone. It's almost the 4th zone, and you actually cannot afford to stay outside of the 4th zone and give such long rotations in that place. but looking forward to the fight. Will not just get spotted. Team number 16 which is going BTM. Warden will be the last man surviving. In the meantime, we get to see that Team Owl in this engagement. So we get to see that team number 13 is actually aware that of Eric, we should have been aware of team number 12 as well before. I think might just get knocked out there. He gets one down, and Eric, can you do it? That's really interesting stuff. XR might just get eliminated, but I guess he will. I guess he should survive right that position. But there you go. That other knockouts have been done. Team Owl. If they are able to hold up this upper top, might just go up with every possible thing they have get them down. Another knock, another shots are actually getting registered, and this is the moment where I guess Team 4 actually big bad trouble. As he has got those revival, but has been done. Side was finished off. I guess it has been registered. Lost by and looking forward to this match. So much player 8 finishes in the last match. I would like to see so far in this game. But the main thing is that you have you are actually getting, and there you go, Team RD by getting some kind of openings for themselves, as well as BIX's Zeno coming into the actions. They might just get spotted. Oh, happens. Well, Zeno, you got a misfire out there, but it was quite a shot. If you could get them out of the zone, they were actually outside the zone. Have to be created for Team 19 to get eliminated, and their positions have been exposed. Zeno won't be taking any kind of chances, I guess, but they have to rush. At least they have to rush towards from Team 20, or they won't be able to take any kind of chances out there. Meanwhile, Team Reflex is getting beaten up by Team 20 with the car 90 shots. 4 IQ lost by has picked up by BIX or Rockstar down there, and the retaliated shots. Team number 19 RDY happens, as well as Shark. These two players have been picked up. Judge will be the last man surviving, giving those revivals. Meanwhile, HRX Ravan, last player probably surviving. Gorkha have already got eliminated, so let's see, can he make it to that solo chicken dinner like what we have witnessed in the very last match? Well, it's gonna be quite a question, but meanwhile Ravan just waiting and waiting, while Team Pro V4 giving that rotation from the left hand side might just try to get up on that upper mountain, but I don't think that's gonna be really possible. While the other fights are being done, and the fights have been registered. Team number 7, that is gonna be Team BIX. Tremendous 11 finishes performance in the last match, and this match already they have secured 11 finishes. 8 teams remaining, 24 players are still in the lobby, and the zone shift is not that far away, and we get to see that Team Owl will be coming into some engagements. They might just get Team BIX above the hill areas, that might just get some disturbance above themselves, and the Slayer probably holding up, and he has to be aware of the danger coming from the back ends. Someone have to watch the back side, while I guess Slayer is just waiting for the correct moment to get initiated, to get the proper place of the zone in the last very moment. Some kind of cover fires just came up. One knock will be done. Water spray coming from Slayer. Slayer gets that back. It was the only thing I was actually talking about. Rockstar remains in the back while he is being surrounded. 95 bullets. He has to take some kind of covers out there. So if there are no covers, it's gonna be really tough for Rocosta to make those things happen. He has to make some more M4 and M24 in combination. 4 of the players still remaining. 5 activated. Some kind of shots. Rockstar is in a really big bad trouble. One knock can be done, but no, the cover fires comes in the right moment, and probably Sumit again, the last player surviving. Zeno Zeno might just get those healings up, but the position of team number 13 is quite exposed. Zeno is knocked out there. Eric and company will be marching towards this direction, while I guess B16 well another finish is coming. Happens will be just waiting and waiting. Probably another shots happen, might just get them spotted. Need to be done, and there you go. damages. Well, really sudden damages there. RDY happens. The last player surviving. Pre-fires and pre-fires. The zone gets happens down to the finish point in the beginning registered by themselves. So both of the they're actually coming at them. In the story meantime, M249 gets reloaded. Two of the players coming into the fighting areas might just get some knocks, but no, it's not. Team Owl wipes out Team BIX with 16 to 16 finish points have been registered, while Team Owl have already got 10 finishes, 2 teams remaining. And the other side, it's gonna be Team BTM getting in some nerves out there, and they might just go for some kind of knocks out there as well. 4v3 scenarios turning up. 7 players remaining, 2 teams, 7 players. Well, Team Owl, it's gonna be looking forward, it's completely, the game is going in the favor of Team Owl out there. But BTM, they are not, I don't think they want to let these things happen, and they can actually get at those 11 finishes, winner chicken dinner, or it might be the 14 finish, or it might be 13 finishes chicken dinner for Team Owl. So let's see which team comes on the top. Meanwhile, the zone actually favors out Team Owl out there, and even the God wants them to win right in this match, and the zone actually favors up in this in their place, to be honest. And if you get to see that team number 16, that is gonna be none other than Team BTM. They have to come in the open. They have not got any kind of advantages so far. They have to come up in the open, as well as they have to look after it that they are not getting knocked out. But it's completely open. You cannot move out at all. The shots have been registered. They have to go for those heal battles. Unless I guess it's gonna be easy chicken for Team Owl out there, unless there is any kind of miracle things coming up. Well, Team 16, they're on the way. They have marched towards. The Mental is waiting. One of the players is there on the left hand side. Might go with one knockback. It might go with the one of BTM. Warden has been picked up. Mental has been down. The key player is actually working. Vortex the last man with that gun switch. Can he just get his last knockout? The only one he gets, Vortex gets one down. We will be getting those finish points have to be registered. Well, you cannot do anything. The one knock, oh, that will mark the end. He couldn't have been finished him right. So meanwhile, the drop fights are being done. The zone has taking the shift over, prevailing over the poaching key, and taking the parts of the Giorgio northern city as well as the main Giorgio. The complete remains in the side. The zone is not in the favor of Team 4IQ. Indeed, the base island has to be left and quite very fast, or else you might just face. But there you go, 4IQ Psycho getting Phoenix a rampage down there. Fights have been taking place in the respective drop locations, and meanwhile we get to see the fights for team number 14 exactly patiently waiting in this area's 4IQ. For Psycho, looking forward to them. They're charging towards this building, and the fights have been registered by next positions. In the meanwhile, the knockouts have been done, and team number 12 just charging into team 14. Psycho gets Sagat MS down and confirmed, as well as the finish points are just coming, and whatever they want, 4IQ just charging. And I don't think this time they're gonna let the team PHX take an exit. PHX killer and another roadside corners. He will be probably going out for those vehicles, and I guess there's another one just left in the spot. Well, it might be, but it might not be. The school areas, as usual, stays in the favor of Team RDY, and the fights might just get initiated. Some devious shots we might just get. Psycho gets a rampage confirmed. The killer gets down by Abhi, and KO Warrior gets down by RD. Happens in probably the apartment side. Let's move on to them as fast as possible. MGD Saturn stays here. RDY Stark will be there. Happens will be healing himself up along with the first aid he's having that Scarl, and probably, I don't know, secondary gun combination, but and the glitch is taking a little bit of time. We can't help it. Like last match, it will be just setting up by itself only. TXF Scammer GS is just wearing that, and RDY happens as the last, like he's the one and only player probably, I guess, so he's just waiting out there. But RDY happens has been picked up by LC Rob out there, and I don't think they're gonna in a really good fighting areas. LC Rob probably charging in with the Scarl. So having a suppressed Scarl, it might just go up. Like it's still in the central areas, and poaching key like BTM has already mastered the poaching key, and other fights is taking place. Team RDM might be just getting down. Team 17, that is they're in the rows of top areas as well, but KO Warrior happens down there. Jayesh gets down by Scammer. Warrior gets a retaliation by Shark, and by that means, I guess Yup, it is. Team RDY takes over this fight with 3 finish points and 4 players standing. Revivals have been done, or you might just see some kind of other fights have been already engaged. Like Third Eye is there in the school of parts. Team 17 has got some close range, or maybe they've got a slam in towards this building, right? But the other things which are actually awaiting that is going to be team number 3 and team 17's fight. Team War in the down the ridge areas, probably in the Rosak bottom, and they're gonna take the fight with Sky out there. Fights are being registered. The fights and the close range fights are actually taking place right away. RDY Shark in another position. Fights have been registered. Goku gets RD Third Eye down at that position, and meanwhile Wardeep. Let's move on to them and let's look and check it out in the action we get in the live scenarios. Team 17 has got a rush on the school areas. Probably team RDY have to be a really patient stuff, because if they are going with any bold moves, it's gonna be really tough for themselves as well. But for now, team number 19 and 17, these two teams, they're gonna fight up of, well, I don't know what's glitch is happening, guys. Nothing is working. Well, don't know about it. But meanwhile, we get to say the fights have been taking place. Team 20 to Team West will be giving the rotation over the farm areas. Team D exactly waiting in the pancake where they waited in the last match. They're actually holding on to that compound itself. Meanwhile, RDY happens and Team RDY will be there. RGB. Well, this squad, definitely a disappointing rotation in the last match, which costed the 2 of the teammates. On the other hand, they're not getting into the top 4 or top 5 what they actually need to be, while the other teams, we are getting that team TR, they have got this like a decent performance coming up. They've got finish points, they've got some position points also. But coming to 7E areas, we get Team Sword holding that 7E stronghold. But in the meantime, তোমার পেছন পেছন আসছে, তুমি তো জানো। Okay, so there you go. We have to get on to this, but the glitch is not happening. I don't know what it is, but WIZ Big Bull gets these Ks are down, and War is actually getting some engagements in the school areas. We might just zoom in out there, but Team 17, there's another team. 3 teams taking those clusters. Wardeep gets TNT, Blackie 2OP down as well. 20 teams, 78 players still remaining. And what is actually happening? It's not even turning up on any kind of characters. Are they glitches? I have to go for another restart. I don't know, yeah. What is it happening? Okay, so we move on to team number 3 coming in the school areas. They have finished up the fights. 4 finishes have been registered in the name of Team War coming, and I guess the 2 teams, those who were actually waiting, it's RDY as well as Team 17. Both of the teams have been eliminated. Probably they went for the third party between these fighting areas, and they have got what they needed. Team GT hope. And probably Team GT is actually holding in a better position in the school clusters out there. The other teams like TR will be giving their individual rotation. Team TES have got the Milta split. They can also give their whatever usual rotation they are willing to take out right now. But the main thing, damn boy comes up, takes in some kind of shots out there. Team T are actually giving them rotations from the shelter areas. Just they might just get them spotted as well. 4 IQ finishes off complete PHX out, and that probably that melt up like military base island, as well as we get to say the bridge rotations will be done by team 4IQ in a really proper way. But meanwhile we get to say team BTM holding the Pochinki squad house in that outskirts of Pochinki, and with that we get team Owl into the action. They are just giving this rotation. Team BTM patiently waiting for the teams to come up and take up those fights. Team Owl giving some rotation, serious rotation, while Trigger is just there holding on to the fights and grabs team NXDRS. Well, team GT, they are not taking any kind of fight so far, but wait a minute. So we get to say that team TR Cyborg exactly in this position, trying to give those rotations as well. Team GT will be patiently waiting. Moving on to team Reflex out there. They are just quite aware in the holding the barn house. Well, it's really decent position. If you get to see the map, the zone might just get into the shift of school areas. If it goes in the hard shift, it might just stays in the Pochinki. If it stays in Pochinki, then I zone is quite an impressive. Is all about and up, and the compound class zones, well, it takes a lot of interesting scenarios to capture out there. But TR Cyborg and GT, well, the ridge fights, upper ridge and lower ridge fights, Pochinki is completely vacant. Not a single team is there indeed, but the fights, BTD Yatnik is there, BIX Slayer in that Giorgio area might just go for those rotation clash might just happen with Team Sword out there, you know. Team BI on the way to just take some of the fights. Team SWAT exactly going right in front of Slayer. I don't think they're gonna wait up, but they have to just hold up to that, so that Team SWAT takes an easy rotation and they can be in a safer side for some time. And I guess Team X is not willing to take this fight right now, but Team Owl looking forward to them. Team SWAT coming in the behind areas, while I guess Team Owl should go for those rotation right now, which is gonna help them at least to get a better position, while Team BIX continues their rotation in the central part of the zone. GT holding this exact center of the map. Well, probably if you get to see the zone, it might just turn up in the probably, let's see what my prediction stays. I guess it's gonna be in the middle of the Pochinki and school compounds, between those the two compounds which are actually holded by team 3 of the teams which are actually holding. It might just go out that way, or it might just go in another way that is going to be completely Pochinki oriented zone. And the other ways we get to see that Team Owl Cloak is waiting, and Team Owl, can they just manage to take up some pretty good fights? Reflexes there actually waiting. TR Cyborg is probably waiting in this fighting areas. RGB giving the rotation from the Rozok Bridge side. Provi for Kala gets a fight with Team GT. Long range fights indeed, but the openings has been registered. Kala gets GT. Sagar knocked and confirmed. Well, one loss for Team GT out there. I guess he was in quite an open compound, so he got spotted and he got definitely finished up. He's been punished of taking the open areas, but Team BI will be still in the ruins part and won't be doing any kind of casual stuff. GTX HP there, and they're surviving with that M416. Reflexes there. Wiz Dexter, Team HRX, they are still in that you get to see the compounds around the school, like in a far off way school roads towards the shelter side. They're holding those compounds, as well as I guess they want to continue the passive modes of gameplay, so that they don't want to get engaged in the really early times. The second zone is almost on the time. Time is taking. The zone is going on to the shift, and meanwhile Team TR, well, definitely looking forward to this part. Team TR, they're actually in those compounds. Team War probably just marching towards those for the Russian, but the main thing is that Deep's OP, he has been knocked and finished off by any of the teams, probably in the school fight indeed. But Team War, with the 4 finishes, they're quite ready and quite set to engage another and take the more 4 finishes in their name. But the main thing which is actually happening is that Team Reflex moving on to themselves right away. It's not gonna be that much easy, but Team Reflex is just waiting and waiting. The 4-man standing. They have got the barn house. The Potato Hill has been held up by Team 22. And other ways we get to say that Team Sword and Team Owl might just get some drop clashes or might just go in some kind of engagements, fights in their rotational places, because then they are holding such compounds which are not actually so way far from each other. So meanwhile we get to see that TR Cyborg gets War Benki OP down with the frag of the nade, and it might just help them out as much as possible, but we get to see the fights are still not over. RGB as a squad are there holding in the Rozok side bridges. Team Hex, and there you go, the Water City, where it's quite an unstable zone, but actually favoring the squads which is actually holding in that Water City area, while we get to see that Team Ruins is being holded up by Team BIX. Again, a great time and a great there actually. V4 stays in that particular area, but will be getting rotation. Meanwhile, I guess Team BIX will be going for those upper ridges or probably the church area. TR Crew is getting another knock by Team War out there, and the fights are still on. You get to see that the Team CR Cyber gets a War Benki down there. I guess with that, Team War have already taken an exit. War Asteroid has also been eliminated, and probably I guess so. Team well, it seems to be there's some sort of glitches in the table, but I guess with that Team War has already taken an exit right away, and we get to say that Team Reflex have taken a rotation far away and got into the Water City areas as well. 4IQ Star and the company have already entered the Ruins area, while Team BX might be in quite of a trouble. Reflex of Flanky has been put up down. Reflex Sahil, Bishop to Vicky. This three players surviving, having a bit of a rich advantage, might just get down by it if any team comes on the top and just targets them. Wiz and Team D giving a rotation from the southern side. Well, it's quite a, if they can give a rotation from the left hand side, getting in the upper hold of the compounds, having got those ruins areas, that might just be quite a favorable position for themselves to hold up, as well as move on to Team TR. I guess they have wiped out Team War out there, and with that Team TES giving that rotation. TR Cyborg exactly patiently waiting, having those healings himself with up, and probably TI Cyborg will be just waiting and waiting when we get to see that Pro V4 Prince how he comes up in the fighting area. Cyborg is just patiently waiting, and with that TRX Cyborg, well, they're just holding, and well, I cannot see the teams how many people are remaining or not, and with that we get to see the fights are already being decided. Pro V4 Prince, the squad of Reflex holding is probably the dip and my position have to take any by 4IQ and Team 4IQ. Well, they're getting into some serious engagements. Meanwhile, Team RGB takes a really good entry towards the ruin side, and Team Owl just stays in that church high ground area. Well, they have got the chances of for Team BI just decided to stay on the ridges, play through the bunkers, and get as much kills as you can. But the main thing of the focus, which I was determined of Team BIX, is that they are going for those finish points. They're not going for those placement, but they're still going for those finishes which are required indeed. But Team 4IQ, they're not that much far behind. Team Sword also comes into action. Team West as well as Team number 20. They might also come up into some crucial engagements, to be honest. But meanwhile, the fights are still on, and the fights to be done are like this one. Team TR just holding the bags. Team OP is still in another island. We get to see they have to come up, at least they have to surpass that position, and they have to come and this side right away. But meanwhile, Team D, they are doing whatever it was necessary. Completely coming from that western side. They might just go up and hold up some better ridges, as well as Team Reflex will be just staying in the central part of the map. But the zone, it just comes up and might be just hitting them. It's the third zone, and probably the shrink is going to start in any moment right away. So Team TR will be giving their rotation. Cyber comes in the open areas. He's got a buggy with him, and the zone might just get them touched out. And the zone this time isn't in a favor of all the teams. While we move on to Team RGB, they have secured the shack, but it is not in the favor. They have to give the rotation. Meanwhile, BTD Admiral and the company of the Rozok will be giving their rotation towards this step. As well as one that Team GT, Team BM, and Team TE engage HRX round down there. QLB also gets a rotation by some M6 with the head. TR holding the ridges, but barely we get to say that Team GT are just coming in the compound areas. They have already got the better hold. They have got a triple story right now, and to be honest, if you're holding a triple story in the last zone, you can actually visualize every possible thing which are actually looking like what you can actually get looking around these places. But in the other hand, we get to say that Team Viz is actually taking some kind of some kind of great deal they're actually doing. But Team TR, their BTD Admiral takes a real charge, and Owl Eric gets down out there. RGB Duke Kathal will be just waiting. Miz Dexter waiting and waiting. Naughty will be having a buggy with that rotation right away. But meanwhile, we get to say BD Yathan coming into the action, giving some rotations. The Team War, I guess they've got eliminated, but I don't know why they are showing it up still now. And in the other hands, well, the game is completely glitched. Team Owl Eric will be getting RGB Duke Max down there, and the fights are still not over. RGB versus Team Owl. Well, this is gonna be some interesting stuff for IQ. Abhi gets HRX Beast knocked out by the DP28, and this was the moment exactly everybody was waiting. But the main thing is that Team Owl Trigger will be just holding the patience. Team Reflex still remains on the central side. In the other hands, we get to say that so RGB Duke just stays right away, and the fights have to be initiated in the ruins area. On the other hand, we get to see that the teams are really in a very close area. So Reflex is still in the central part, so while 4IQX Star will be giving rotation, TRQs is there, BTD Yathan still remains in the other part. So in the meanwhile, BTD Yathan gets down. GTHP has been picked up by the internet, like in need as well, and with that, the main thing, the shots are being taken. RGB Duke Killer gets wedged down there. Duke Killer, well, we have to move on. Move on to RGB Dude Killer out there, and well, where is he right now? Let's just move around. Dude, Madrox, Kathal, these two players surviving. The fights have been registered. Avi comes up with some DP shots out there. Team number 4 will be just waiting in that particular phrase, while Sile might just get eliminated. Frankie will be just there lying below this places. Pro V4 Sats comes into action. BTD Colonel gets an XR or is down there. OP offensive will be also confirmed by themselves as well. RGE Duke Kathal Sword Shinchan has been picked up by him as well. So well, Team Pro V4 still remaining. Circle goes in the favor of Team Reflex, but I don't know why I'm having a gut feeling that it might just end up in the chicken of Team Falcon. So, like, if you're going to say that, Team Falcon basically is Team TR coming into the action, and like Team Reflex has got a really upper hold where you can just get to see that they have got the central parts, they can easily hold it up, but the main thing is that holding the ridges, clearing those clusters, creating your own defense is the main thing, and the central parts, while 4IQ getting a long range shots from Team BIX out there. On the other hand, we get to say that Slayer has been picked up. Sword Blasker is still lying and still lying. Needs are coming from all the direction. Team Outclock will be in that down the ridge pass, and probably might be just trying to spot them out as well. So team number 7 BIX still remains there. Team 28, team number 18 RGB Madrox have been picked up, and the fights are still initiating. 4AB Jonathan Jr. has been picked up. Airwick gets them down as well. So team DS, meanwhile, they're not stopping at all. They are also going for those march-up pushes as well. And in the other hand, the fights are still going on and on. BTD, well, Okay. So Cyborg has got some serious damages and probably might be just getting them some engaged with the team RGE out there. Might just get those knocks out there, but in the other hand, we get to see that the fights are still not over. The fights are getting continued. Trigger will be marching towards the team 20 out there, and the fights are going. Sword Akshu gets one down there, and in the other hand, that. Well, we get to see BTD Ruiner getting BTM Vertex down there. Well, it's not, I don't know what is happening, but our Trigger gets another knockout. That team BTM probably in a really bad situation, but BITX again. Sumit comes into action and gets one down of Team SWAT out there. SWAT needs to give some rotation inside the zone areas as well, but in the meantime, the other teams are also taking those places. Wiz, you get to see them coming into some engagement areas, while Team HRX might just take those exit points right now. Okay, so some shots have been taken. Team Reflex will be just going for those because they're actually having those zone advantage. Even also they're trying to spot out some of the enemies just to get those finish points. 3 finish points have been registered by Team Reflex so far, but the main thing is that Team Sword Bhaskar, the last round, probably surviving, and Reflex's Sahil Jod comes in the 1v4 situation with Pro V4 Beast out there, might just get them down as well, but waiting patiently is gonna be really tough. Moving on, Pro V4 Beast in this action is gonna be really tough, as well as we move on. Pro V4 stays like the solo player probably surviving, and I don't think it is that much easy for them to bring out this one, as well as Beast has been confirmed, and Pro V4 takes an exit right away from this match. In other hands, we get to see that Team RGB still in the other world with we get to see that Wiz Naughty is actually fighting out there with some badass guys coming into the action. That is none other than team number 21, or else I guess it is. Okay. Oh, so meanwhile we get to see the fights are still not over. Reflex Abi gets one down, Screams gets down as well, and the other fights are still not just going on the way it's planned. Wiz Velmoth is still knocked out. The revivals has to be done. The vaccines. Revivals have been done. Basically, I call that series of vaccines. So you need to have those stuffs as well as in your pocket. Team Owl also coming some engagements, and to be honest, they are on the verge of getting another winner chicken at Team BI, Team Owl. Both of the teams in the top 2. Reflex also comes up, and also 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to 8 teams I guess are still remaining. But meanwhile, BTD Admiral getting Reflex out down there. 2 of the players have been vanished out, as well as Pro V4, this team. Well, 2 of the players of them has also gone out, and it's gonna be really tough for Pro V4 to come back to this game, because I guess in my device it's showing that they're still out of the game, but in the other hand, Reflex Bish, he's just getting BIX Slayer down there, and the fights are not yet over right now. BIX Slayer, we move on to themselves right away, but I don't think they are Okay, so what we get to see that well, you get to see the fights are actually happening. 4 IQX are just waiting, while in the other hand, Reflex comes up, as well as the Team Owl. Eric stays in that particular position. BIM says Sumit still surviving, and actually we are not aware of when the fight is going to end up, because it's not showing anything. Hashtag end BGMI. This is the thing is actually happening, but meanwhile we get to say that Team BIEX have been a really consistent team, probably coming in the top 4 again. But this time the map is completely freezed. The Team Owlson getting some shots out there. RGB Duke Madrox has got eliminated. The Sword Bhaskar is the last man surviving. So, well. But again, in the central side, the team another time. This is the event happening right today. So Okay. So well, we get to see the fights are still not over while Team BI as well as Team Owl. I just can see both of the teams staying in that particular area. Wiz is still in another level 8 zone. It is a big Sumit players gets Team RL tag trigger down there, and the fights are still gone. Like Team Owl are still in that area. Rockstar getting Reflex Bitch down there. Reflex Bitch has been confirmed by Rockstar there, and with that, I guess Team Bix is not stopping today. They have secured almost 3, 4, 5, more than 5, I guess so. Zeno gets retaliation, Rockstar gets retaliation, and with that, I guess Team BIX takes away then exit. Probably they have taken that exit right now, and with that, I guess Team TM Owl is quite way in a direction where. While it's so look like it's just one or some few slots are just left, or a few teams that is gonna be 1, 2, 3, the maximum 5 to 6 teams are just remaining. But the main thing that's Eric comes up in the central area. Reflex Wavy gets a 1 down. 4 IQ XR has been picked up, and 4 IQ won't be getting any So जब देखा जाए, we get to see that matches already came up into an end. We could not witness the fights, but we get to see the second match, the third match. Winner chicken dinner goes in the favor of Team Owl out there with the 7 finish points indeed. While we get to see Reflex comes up in the second with almost, whoa, that's a huge 6, 9, like 14, 15 finishes.